What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Vinny's Corner. I'm your host, Vinny. This is my co-host over here, Cove Blue, as it says. And we have a couple of special guests today. We're starting out my guy, Austin Rollins here from, the Sports Podium. And we should have Hot Take joining us as well. So what's going on, fellas? How's everything going?
Pretty good.
Doing good, man. Doing good.
As you guys know, I want to give a quick shout out. It was my daughter Sofina's first birthday today, which was very exciting for us as parents. We had a really good time. I'll have some pictures posted later of her going crazy on chocolate cupcakes. It was wonderful. It was exactly what I was hoping it would be as her dad, obviously. All right, let me get this shared on the socials, and we'll get rocking and rolling here. So, actually, I was meaning to ask you guys, Austin, you guys took off, right? Like last week, this week, you guys had a show come back out, or you had one come out last week and you were off the week before, right?
Correct, yeah.
All right, but you guys will be doing the regular weekly thing?
Yeah, we'll be back tonight after this. We're going to record, and we'll be out either tomorrow or Friday, depending on how quick we get it out.
Awesome. I don't know what happened to George. But, excuse me, hot take, my bad. But, so now I think I saw a post from you guys on the Sports Podium, right? If people were interested in joining you guys to reach out, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody's interested in hopping on or doing anything, we have done a couple lives on X. We're going to look to do more of those. But if anybody wants to be on the pod, we are going to get back to doing it weekly, so just let me or him know, or email our page or DM our page, and definitely get you on.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. And Cove, I know we got the baseball show going on weekly as well. Cove's actually got the outfielder glasses on right now, if you guys didn't notice. I think he thinks he's on the Kansas City Royals. By the way, dope hat that you got on there, Austin, because you see Austin's got a New York hat on. I don't know about that Kansas City stuff, but to each their own. And so, Cove, I think I saw a post of yours also inviting people to join your live show. Is that correct? Does this guy hear me?
Yeah. Looking for anybody to, trying to get anybody on that has an opinion, basically. So we can get a larger panel going.
So, guys, if you're a sports content creator, a sports analyst, if you're just your average Joe from Cleveland, Ohio that wants to talk Guardians baseball, right? Reach out to my guy Cove. The shows with the Sports Podium, it's a little bit, so that show is or baseball focused. The Sports Podium is a little bit more of a rounded out show, so they could be talking the upcoming football season as well. And I think Austin should be back in a second, as well as NHL and, NBA, kind of like how we do here on this show. So, let me see here. Do we got this guy up? I don't know what's going on with Austin's page. We'll see in a second, I guess. So, guys, as you know, every week we like to talk a little bit about what's going on in the combat sports world. So today was an interesting one. There's my guy, Austin. Today was actually the press conference for Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So this will be the first time, this will be the second time, because he did fight Tommy Fury also, but Tommy Fury guy's kind of a wash. But he's going to be fighting a Chavez, right? So obviously it's not the same thing as Senior, El Gran Campeón, but his son is a tough guy. He's been a champion. He's under the age of 40 for once, so he's not fighting a grandpa this fight. It was a pretty wild press conference today. And the interesting thing about this press conference, guys, if you're into boxing, the undercard has Zurdo Ramirez on it. Zurdo Ramirez is one of the actual cruiserweight champions. So he had his belts displayed, and on the other side was Jake Paul. The idea was there. Basically, it looks like they might be setting up for Jake Paul to possibly get his opportunity. And excuse me, guys, I'm on the couch because I got the Knicks game on. But it looks like they might be setting up for Jake Paul to get an actual title shot here in the near future. So later on this year, potentially. There is our other guy, Hot Take. Give me a second. Let's get him on stage. Hot Take, you there? That's weird. Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah.
There he is. What's going on, Hot Take? How you doing today, brother?
Nothing much, bud.
Probably in the same place that I am. Got the Knicks game on in that side view of yours. A little stressed out.
Trying to put it on. It's bugging out right now, but yeah.
You know, so listen, I'm not shocked right now. The Knicks. So this was an interesting one, actually. Before we jump into the combat sports stuff, the Knicks were actually going into this game 3-1, having won both the last two games in Boston. The Knicks were the underdog tonight, with Jason Tatum out with a ruptured Achilles. Right, so that was kind of interesting. Were you guys surprised by that at all, or did you think that was, what it was going to be?
Nah, I kind of figured that's what it was going to be.
This game hasn't been anything that was like very surprising to me. And I'll be honest, just because like I know how our team has been this season and I know how we've been in this playoffs, I'm not like that stressed being down by 15 right now. I feel like we can win the game. Easy enough to say it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm not stressing this game.
Me neither. We're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's the way I look at it.
Only thing
it'd be nice if we got to finish it tonight, though, for sure.
Only thing that sucks is Brunson has 5 fouls going into the fourth quarter, and he's your best fourth quarter player. So,
Cat's got 4. Brunson's got 5. It's one of those games. And honestly, I'll be real. A few of these calls have been a little suspect to me. You expect the home team to get some calls, but I don't know. A few of them, like there were a couple of calls early in the game on Payne that were just like, guy looked like he was playing solid defense to me. I don't know. So, all right. So we were going to jump right into the combat sports stuff. Last weekend, we had UFC 315, right? Bilal Muhammad was putting his belt up against, how do you pronounce this guy's last name? Jack Della, Manana or something like that? I just call him Jack Della, I'll be honest. The Australian guy. The Australians are back on top in UFC. They've now got 2 titles because him and Volk both won in as many weeks. So I know you watched that whole card, Hot Take, right? The big things that I took away, just like the top 3 fights were kind of, it didn't really do it for me. That fight, Valentina Shevchenko with the UD over Manon Farrow, and then Jose Aldo. To me, I think it's time for Jose Aldo to hang it up. What were your thoughts on the card?
Honestly, who needs to hang it up is Bilal. He needs to hang it up because he definitely didn't look the same as he has in the past. I mean, I know he's 36 and he started very late in his age of being, a fighter, but, he definitely didn't look like the Bilal we've seen and fought in the past. Like, obviously, Jack is a lot younger, so, it's expected, but I didn't expect him to lose the way he lost and to look the way he did after that fight.
Well, he did. Jack Della Maddalena. That's how you pronounce it. Okay. Like Austin, did you get a watch on the UFC card as well?
Yeah, I watched the 3 fights you mentioned. I think Aldo did actually retire after the fight, if I'm not wrong. But for the main event, I mean, Bilal got beat up bad. Didn't he like have like a broken like lip and orbital and a couple other things? Like, didn't it cut right open, like right through him?
So, like when you go to like ESPN, if you go to like the Fight Center, how it shows like the strike heavy areas, it's like goes from like yellow to red sort of thing, right? His whole upper body was red. He got outlanded by like significant strikes, more than 20 significant strikes, overall more than 50 strikes. he tried for 9 takedowns. He was only successful 3 times, so Jack had a really good takedown defense in that fight as well. And he just made it his fight. It was, if you're a Bilal fan, it was pretty brutal to watch. I'll say that much, for me, the 3 fights that kind of led up to the main event stuff, right? Those were the more exciting fights. So Jasmine Jasudavicius, right? She was fighting Jessica Andrade. She tapped her out in the first round with a rear naked choke. That was badass. She's one of the top females in the sport. The Canadian Mike Mallet was fighting another Canadian guy, Charles Radke, and he busted him up, TKO in the second round. And the really big one, Benoit Saint-Denis with the arm triangle over Kyle Propalik. So those 3 fights were pretty exciting ones. It was a good card leading up to it. Then we got to kind of like the main event stuff, and it was like, it really was time for Aldo to hang it up. I'm glad he is. Shevchenko proved her continued dominance. So it was sort of like what I expected to see, but I didn't think I was going to see Bilal get dominated like that. I didn't. That was a bit of a surprise to me. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but Bilal is Palestinian, like my boy Hot Take here. So I know Hot Take was definitely pulling for his guy. That must have been disappointing, huh?
Yeah, don't go back to the country. I'll tell you that much, bud.
Dude, listen, man, it
You're
was
banning him from the country,
right?
Yeah,
he said, "Don't go back to the country."
That song he plays is like the not national anthem, but like it holds a big part of Palestine and what they've been through, and it talks about like the blood and stuff that they've had to deal with over the last 40-50 years. And he comes out to that song every time he comes out to a fight. But after this past Saturday, I don't want to see him come out to that song ever again.
Well, I have a question. Is he the first ever Palestinian fighter to win a title?
That's a good question. He actually might be.
To my knowledge, he is. So, because I know that was kind of like.
Don't forget who trained him and the other kid that have dominated the last 2 or 3 years. The guy Khabib have trained Bilal and the other guy. I forgot what's his name is.
Nurmagomedov.
Is that who it is?
That's who. I know Khabib trains him.
Yeah. So I mean,
I don't know who Marab trains with, but there's a couple of those guys got a certain fighting style. And you guys actually, I'm curious to know what you think about this, but I feel like the dominance that has come from that side of the world has actually unless you're right, for hardcore fans, it's great because they're way more into the ground game stuff, but it's taken a huge piece of the excitement away, especially with Enclave beating Potan, Alex Pereira recently. It seems that there's so many champs that are in this ground control kind of game. It's made main events very lackluster, where you used to see exciting, vicious knockouts. You see a lot of this dragging in the fight.
I agree with that 100%. They really need the UFC for the UFC, for fan wise. They really need Chimaev to win his title fight if he can stay healthy.
He's an interesting one because he comes from that side of things, but he doesn't, right? Because he's got the Swedish background as well, right? He's got a much better striking game than a lot of those guys do. He's when he gets to the ground, he looks for finishes quickly. He's an aggressive dude. I kind of like watching him. He's not really the best of men, but as a fighter,
yeah, not the best dude, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Listen, everyone's got their faults, I guess, but that whole pump and dump thing he did with that crypto coin recently, you can't really speak too highly of a guy like that. So this weekend, there's a UFC fight night. This should be a good fight. The headliner, it's Gilbert Burns against Mike Morales. That fight should likely go to a finish, but, we'll see. I'm not going to jump into the whole card, but it's a lot of Brazilians and a lot of Americans, kind of standard stuff. It should be a good one this weekend, though. So Now we got the NBA playoffs deep into this, right? So we're approaching the championship rounds now in the NBA playoffs. The Pacers are the first team to secure their spot in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that the thing that really lit the fire for that team was the poll that The Athletic did when they asked players who the most overrated player in the game was, and players unanimously voted for Tyrese Halliburton. To me, that was kind of a big thing, I think, for not just him, but the whole team. And they've been the best offense this entire postseason. The Cleveland Cavs were the number one team, and they dismantled them. Granted, there was injuries, this and that, but as a sports fan and as an athlete growing up, I don't take credence in taking credit away from teams that are, everyone deals with injuries. Everyone deals with the same season. It's a war of attrition. It's how your team, your coaching, your front office manages that stuff, right? So Eastern Conference Finals, what do you guys think? We got Cove. Who do you got? We got the Pacers. Do you think the Knicks can make a comeback tonight and finish it off?
I don't see a comeback coming tonight. This is a 7-game series.
Okay. Who do you think's going to win it? You think the Knicks will be able to pull it out?
I do have the Knicks. Yes, I do have the Knicks going. I have the 99 series being replayed.
Oh man, I don't even want to think about that right now. What about you, Austin?
I got the Knicks too. Not tonight, but I got them in 6, and I think it's going to be a super good series with the Pacers. The Pacers are the most slept-on team. I was even sleeping on them. I mean, they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They had that going with Halliburton getting disrespected by the players. They definitely have a chip on their shoulder to get back to the title. So we'll see what happens in a week or two.
For sure. And what about yourself, Hot Take?
Oh, they're making a comeback tonight, bud. We're ending this.
They're not 22, aren't they?
No, they're down 11. What's wrong with you? You not watching?
It's so right. I got the TV right there, but
What's
I got
the score?
a laptop right here. So I don't even I won't see what's going on.
What's the score?
It just turned back on. Give me a sec.
Because my tablet's bugging out.
My TV is obviously behind. It's 77 to 99. It's 22.
Oh, yeah, that's the score. Yeah. I told you it was down 22.
So we're getting cooked right now.
Brunson just hurt his ankle too.
This isn't for me, and it's unfortunate because
all right. So then
my wife was like, "I want to place a bet on the game tonight. What should I do?" And I was like, "Take the Knicks money line." What do you mean? It's plus money. Why would you not? This is exactly why right here. So they're showing that play with Brunson right now. Oh,
he's still in, but that didn't look great.
Yeah, no. Big Body Brunson, as my man Big Perkins calls him. I love that nickname. So listen, this game, for me, this is kind of expected, right? Like they just lost their leader. Jaylen Brown hasn't really done much in the playoffs, and it was his time to kind of step up. And you expect that they're going to have one or two of these games where they just have a ridiculously high shooting percentage. Today's that day, right? So, it is what it is. We lose some, we win some. Could be worse. So now what about the West Coast Conference Finals? Right now on the West Coast is actually kind of interesting, right? OKC kind of really stepped it up towards the latter part of that game. And what was exciting for me that it wasn't SGA. He had a great game, don't get me wrong. But Mort came in and not just nailed 3 threes in a row, but, he had a deflection, he had a steal, right? So he had so many things happening so quick. And when they can trust players like that across the team, it starts to give you a lot more confidence in a team that's that good, even a young one making a run. So they're 3-2 in the series right now. Do you guys think the Nuggets can come back?
I think they force Game 7. I don't know if they win Game 7, but I think they win Game 6 in Denver.
Okay.
Playing at Denver is very hard. It's a very tough place to play at. So
Every time I look, the score gets worse. So there was a big concern, right? Over the last few games, they were saying that what's this guy's name? That Nikola Jokic was in a little bit of a funk, right? Which a funk for him is still 20 points and 20 rebounds. But like when you're the best player in the world, they expect a little bit more of you. Last night he played out of his mind, and it wasn't enough for them to get through it. So I don't know. I feel like OKC should advance, but I also think it's going to go to a Game 7 as well. I think they're going to have a little wear and tear on them going into the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I think Murray, too. Murray will show up better in Game 6. He played well in Game 5, but kind of faded in the second half. He's a big game performer, so I'd say he shows up and helps Jokic out to get him to 7.
Murray looked a good Game 5 though.
He did,
Yeah, in the first half.
Awesome.
In the first half, in the second half, he kind of faded.
Yeah, he did taper off a bit. You know what would make my world, not just OKC losing, because I do kind of want OKC to lose. I don't know why. I'm just a hater. But it would be OKC losing Game 7 on a walk-off from Russell Westbrook.
That would be great.
That would be
that would complete life for me, bro.
Russ would probably he'd get thrown out of the arena if he did that.
Oh my God! Imagine that in Oklahoma City, they win off like a mid-range jumper from Westbrook. That would be fantastic. So now we got the Golden State Warriors tonight against the T-Wolves. The Warriors are down 3-1 in the series. The Warriors are still out their guy Steph Curry, who's likely to return if they can push a Game 6. But we haven't really seen playoff Jimmy, and you're a Miami Heat fan, actually, Austin. We have definitely not seen that playoff Jimmy in this series, right? So what do you think, Hot Take? Can they push a Game 6, or do you think that the T-Wolves sew it up tonight?
No, it's done. Jimmy is not going to be enough to carry that team to a Game 6, and they don't have the players around them to help Jimmy at all. Jimmy has looked bad the last 2 games, or last game and a half, I should say. First game, what was it? Game 4. Game 3 he looked great. Game 4 he looked, and then I don't think he's gonna be able to do it by himself tonight. He could be playoff Jimmy tonight, but he's still not gonna have enough help. Randall's taking off, and Anthony Edwards is taking off. So
I think they might be able to force a Game 6. I don't know. I think the league wants Curry back in the finals, so I think if they get to a Game 6, the Warriors are going to win. But I also think, I know it's in Minnesota, but he hasn't been playing like this playoffs, but Butler's good enough to win them a game, and they need it. Draymond Green's going to show up. Buddy Hield's going to show up. I don't know. I think it'll be a lot closer than people think. They might still lose, but I think Game 5 is going to be very close.
Here's my thought, and you let me know what you think on this one, Austin. I feel like they don't just need playoff Jimmy, of course, right? Like one of the biggest things and I don't know what the exact numbers were, but he had so one of Jimmy Butler's key features is his ability to draw the foul, right? And get to the line. Game 4, he barely got to the line. And that was a huge problem for them. So they definitely need playoff Jimmy, but they also need a Derek White-esque performance at a Buddy Hield.
Yeah, like Game 7 versus the Rockets.
Exactly.
It's possible, obviously, but Jimmy has to be aggressive like he was Game 3 early. He has to look to attack and score the ball instead of getting shots for I'm not saying these guys aren't good, but he needs to be the one taking the shots. He's trying to get everybody involved, and he just needs to take over the game. He should shoot the ball 25, 30 times.
That's exactly what I think about it is like during a good playoff performance from Jimmy Butler, he gets to the line 10 to 15 times. You know what I mean? He has 20 to 30 free throws. And that's exactly what you need from him because that's where he's going to get a 35, 40-point game out of. So I think that they really need an aggressive Jimmy Butler. And then, like I said, they need that kind of Derek White-esque. The Game 7 performance Buddy Hield had against the Rockets, they need a replica of that. But right now, I'll tell you one thing I've noticed, and this is like for me, as a Knicks fan, and hot take, you'll probably agree with this. I think that this trade kind of worked really well for both teams. It frustrates me a little bit when I see how well Julius Randle plays in the playoffs as a Timberwolf. Like, who is this guy? He's averaging like 23 points a game. I mean, he's getting boards, he's getting assists, he's doing everything. He's like the perfect supplement to Ant Edwards. And I wasn't expecting him to be this good in the playoffs on that team. What do you think? I'm sorry, hot take.
2 years ago, he was hurt. Didn't get to play in the playoffs with Brunson. Last year, he was hurt. Didn't get to play in the playoffs with Brunson. And so we really didn't get to witness him and Brunson play in the playoffs together as the 1-2 punch. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's more of him he was upset that they brought Brunson in and trying to give Brunson the team when Randall was there before Brunson. And Randall, brought a little bit of life back to the Knicks and taking them to the playoffs in a very long time. Yeah, we did get swept by Atlanta that year. And Randall, looked like garbage in the playoffs. But, I think it had more to do with that than anything else, that he didn't want to take that role of the number 2 and have Brunson run the team. But I think, he realized that going to Minnesota that he had to take the number 2 role. And I think that's why he's thriving so well right now.
He is. I'm happy for him. I won't lie. I still like Julius Randle to a certain extent. Look at the face this guy just made when I said I'm happy for him. Well, the hot take is like easily the biggest hater on socials in 2025.
Bro, how can you be happy for a guy? Oh, how can you be happy for a guy that's been hurt the last 2 years, got swept by Atlanta, and the one time he played in the playoffs, to throw a comment about how this is his real chance of making a deep run in the playoffs? You were hurt the last 2 years, right? You could have made a deep run in the playoffs. We could have won the Pacers series last year if we had Randall and he wasn't hurt. So that comment right there just turned a lot of Knicks fans against him for that comment. I'm not saying that it's his fault he got hurt. Obviously, stuff happened, but you can't say that, this is your opportunity to make a deep run when the last 2 years you haven't been able to play in the playoffs with the Knicks.
Yeah, he definitely threw some shade. No question about that. I'm just one of those people in life. I wish the best for everybody. It's just who I am, and I don't think there's any ill will against him, but I can see exactly why you would say that. And definitely there are a lot of Knicks fans who are not fans of Julius Randle at this point. I think they're going to close it out tonight. They need to close it. If they don't close it out tonight, Austin,
they might lose the series.
Exactly. They like it. Tonight's a huge game for them, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. Golden State is like plus 380. Might be the bet of the week right there.
Could be smart money.
See what happens, right?
It is. If it goes past tonight and they get Curry back, even a 50% Curry, you have to guard him. That puts McDaniels on Curry. That opens up Butler, which opens up Hield. It makes their team so much better with Curry on the floor. And I think Draymond said something about it after the game 4, because they asked him about Curry's comment, how he can't be Superman or whatever. He wished he could be, and he was like, "We just need him on the floor," because he knows if he's on the floor, it changes their whole team. And with him and Butler playing, they're the best. They were the best team in the West after the trade deadline.
You know, it's pretty. I just wanted to show that Kim said you're the biggest hater. Period. By the way, hot take, just in case you're wondering. So you know, so you brought up Draymond Green. He's like one of the most polarizing players in sports in the last 20 years. I personally love the guy. I think I like what a problem he is on the court. You know, there's no other way to say it. I think he's kind of like he's like throwback to like Charles Oakley era type, you know, NBA basketball, and I appreciate him for that. And he's going to do whatever he has to make sure his team succeeds, you know. So I throw it to you first, Austin. What are your thoughts on Draymond Green?
I like Draymond. I mean, he's gonna be a I don't know about first ballot, but he's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he has all the rings. He has Defense Player of the Years. He's probably gonna win it again this year if he hasn't already. Like, should have if Evan Mobley won it. That's garbage. But I mean, like you said, he just reminds you of that old school basketball. He gets in there, he talks, he doesn't care, he doesn't shy away from contact. He just goes head down, but he's also like he understands that if he's wrong, and like will take a little bit of take it on the chin. But I don't have a problem with him. I like the way he plays.
What about you, hot take?
I mean, I agree with Austin. I don't think he's first ballot, but he's definitely a lock for the Hall of Fame. I mean, he has the defensive skills. I mean, obviously his offense is not all that, but the rebounding is there, the defense is there, the rings are there. So, like I said, I definitely don't think he's first ballot, but he definitely makes the Hall of Fame.
Probably the only thing I didn't like was after he got the technical and the flagrant in what was that, game 4 or game 3? He came out and he, you know, and during the press conference, you know, he has this whole speech about how he doesn't like being pegged as the angry black man, right? Yada, yada, yada. And it's like, listen, dude, like you might be cool or anything, but like your track record on the court speaks for itself. You're a demon. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, if you're not the angry black guy, I don't know who is, you know? So I thought that was a little kind of crazy. Dude, what is going on, bro? 20. Oh my God. I just looked up. I was looking at Austin, like staring this way. And I'm like, he must be watching the game. I look over at the game and I'm like, I don't even know. I'm disgusted right now. 6 minutes, 23 points just to get tied up. I don't know about this one. I'll take the L. Winning. Plus, if they win in New York, it's going to be 7th Avenue is going to be an absolute, I don't know, a shit show. That's probably the only way I can say it, right? It's going to be madness. So definitely be interesting.
I'm on my phone right now. Can anybody tell me how many points Jaylen Brown has?
Like 30.
Jaylen Brown. He's played great tonight, man. He really stepped up big time.
He has like 30 points.
Jaylen Brown, he's got 24 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. He's playing hella defense.
I need him to get. My God, I'm gonna get screwed. If he gets a bucket and a rebound, I win $3,000.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
But he's not gonna get it. I'm gonna get screwed.
Yeah,
you got 5 minutes, man. You got 5 minutes. You know, so we'll see what happens.
They're gonna take his ass out.
I don't think you can. I mean, even with them winning a game like this, I feel like you just have to keep him on the court tonight, right? Like he's the leader of the team now, right?
I just need him to hit a three, and get a rebound, and I'll be fine.
Dude, that's a nice little W right there. $3,000.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's not talk about it anymore.
I know. I was going to say you shouldn't have said that out loud. Oh man,
he's got 26 for Brown now.
He scored?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I need a board like I need life.
You need a rebound, just a rebound.
Unbelievable. Dude. You got 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and you need 1 rebound.
Come on, give it to me.
We'll see what happens, right? All right. So everyone's picks. If you like right now, I'm going Timberwolves. I think the Nuggets can pull it out. So I'm just going to get wild. I'm going to say T-Wolves against the Nuggets, the Knicks, and the Pacers. And for the finals, God willing, the New York Knicks against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Cove, what do you got?
I got OKC, Minnesota. I got the Knicks versus Pacers, but I got Timberwolves versus Pacers in the finals.
This guy's such a New York hater. It's unreal. What about yourself, Austin?
Man. I got Knicks, Pacers. Knicks will win a series. I got Timberwolves, Thunder. As much as I want the Nuggets to win, and as much as I want the Wolves to win, I think the Thunder are a really complete team. So I got Thunder versus the Knicks in the finals.
What about you, Hot Take?
I don't know, man. Right now, I'm so aggravated at this game. But obviously, I'm taking the Knicks all the way to the finals. And then, honestly, I think it's set up for Minnesota versus the Knicks. A Randall Cat reunion against their team.
Dude, I think that's prime TV right there, right? Like, and
Prime
the
TV.
West Coast needs Ant Edwards in the finals.
If Ant makes the finals, and wins the finals, he's the new face of basketball.
I know, and like
we said that with Tatum, we said that with all these other players, man. I get it, he's great, but like, you got to win multiple championships.
Look at his bag of who he's beat in the playoffs: Durant, Jokic, LeBron, Harden. He's beaten these generational dudes. If he beats Jokic again, he beat Luka, and then if he wins the Western Conference Finals, this means he's going to beat SGA probably, who's the MVP this year. So he's beating everybody.
And he's got that
40-year-old LeBron, prime LeBron.
Still beat him. He still overtook the.
Listen,
you gotta It's passing of the torch. I get LeBron's 40, but he's passing the torch. It's passing of the torch. It happens all the time.
Exactly, passing of the torch, and he's got that whole energy. You know what I mean? Like, he's outside of the Knicks' entire roster, because I love this Knicks team. That's like my next favorite player in basketball, Ant Edwards. I love his whole attitude. I love his whole energy. It'd be exciting to see him make the finals against our Knicks. It would be just as exciting to see him lose to Big Body Brunson and the boys too. I'll be honest. That's what I'd like to see, but let's see what happens.
I think Brunson might be one of my favorite players in the league right now. I love the way he plays.
I'm going to make a bold statement, and I got another Knicks fan here, so he can weigh in on it. My favorite Knick all time already is Jalen Brunson.
I asked him this the other day. I said he's going to get up there, best Knick all time.
All right, so I'll ask you, Vin, the question that I got asked by Austin. Is Brunson the best Knick ever?
If he's not already, he will be. I think to be better than him, I would have to go back to the last championship. And I wasn't alive yet. In my lifetime.
You put him over Patrick. You put him over Will. Not Will. Yeah, Will. You put him over all them.
This guy,
my response to Austin was, if Brunson brings New York a championship, I will claim him the best Knick ever.
Oh, definitely. Then it's hands down.
Yeah.
But
he's definitely top 3, if not top 5.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, for me, he's already my favorite Knick ever. I grew up with Starks. I grew up with Sprewell, Ewing. That was me when I was a kid, right? But for me to be this excited about NBA basketball again, I didn't think this would ever happen again. I'll be honest.
You know who I grew up on watching the Knicks? Raymond Felton.
That's amazing. That's amazing, actually. All right, so Now, we also got the NHL playoffs going on right now, guys, just to switch gears a little bit. And we're just about at the Final Four for the NHL playoffs as well. The Stars are already up 3-1 in their series, right?
Stars look great.
What'd you say?
The Stars look great.
Oh, dude. I mean, so the Winnipeg Jets were the 1 seed in the West, right? The way that the Stars have handled them, it's not like and I know this is Cove's avenue. Cove's a big hockey guy. So I'll pass this question to you first, Cove. What do you think has been? I mean, Ottinger's been great in goal, right? Their defensive check has been awesome, and they've been a scoring machine. What has been like the thing that's been instrumental in them just like taking the Jets apart?
Playoff experience.
Experience. I didn't even think about that.
Not many of the
Sure,
Jets have
never
playoff
had before.
experience. None of those guys have really been there to have that. The Dallas has a lot of their guys have, look at Miko right now, who's leading the league right now in points and assists right now in the playoffs. He's already won a cup. Ottinger's taken them far. A lot of their guys have all got experience to going all the way. So that's what happens when it comes to hockey. It's playoff experience. First and foremost, right? Like
makes total sense.
as you're bringing in the hockey, like did you look at the Florida game right now? They're up 6-0 against the Leafs. They're washing the Leafs right now.
Yeah,
I was about to say that.
dude.
Yeah, they're washing the Leafs right now.
Dude, so that I'm glad you brought this one up. Actually, we got a Florida guy here, so I know he's not a Florida Panthers fan, but I'm sure you hear a lot about Panthers hockey where you're located. This has been like the way that the Maple Leafs came out and started this series really strong, and Florida has just roared back. And now
Typical
you're
Maple Leafs.
It's dude.
It is typical Maple Leafs, but it's Bob Roski. He got a breather, and now it's fucking Bob Roski just rocking the house.
Dude, I mean, to be pitching a shutout in Game 5, going into the Eastern Conference Finals.
On the road, right? They're on the road,
Dude,
right?
Yeah. Unbelievable hockey tonight.
Oh, no. It's back-to-back shutouts. They shut them out last game, too.
Yep. And, dude, again, to be doing it in Toronto,
how does Toronto even get on the plane and go to Florida with any hope after doing back-to-back shutouts?
Dude, Bobrovsky's got 25 saves on the night right now. There's 5 minutes left in the game.
That's absurd.
Unbelievable.
You gotta remember the Panthers are back-to-back Eastern Conference champions. Bob Roski knows how to win when he needs to.
Yeah. On the Eastern
It's gonna be them and the
Conference,
Canes, right?
Yeah.
The Canes are up 3-1.
No, Canes already advanced.
They advanced. Wow. Yeah. So them and the Canes.
The Canes already
advanced. Yeah, 4-1.
No, 3-1. 3-1. Game 5 is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so
that's the Caps are playing, right?
Panthers, right? Almost definitely Canes versus Panthers. Now, what do you think, Austin? Can the Canes get past Bobrovsky and this nasty team? Florida's primed for a second, for a dynasty.
Florida's too fast. Florida is way too fast.
Florida's really good. Really good. The Canes are playing really good hockey right now, but I feel like Florida's going to win the East for the third straight year and then see if they can win the Cup.
Yeah, they're really that team. So my guy in Florida, hot take here. What's it been like down there with the Florida Panthers? Just, I mean, for the last 3 years, they've just been dynamos.
Bro, I'm in North Florida.
Rangers.
I don't hear nothing about hockey. In North Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
Nothing. It's wild. It's all college here. They don't care about nothing else. They don't care about the Jags. They don't care about hockey. They don't care about basketball. They don't care about baseball.
All they care about is Florida.
All they care about
Florida
is
Gators.
the Gators, the Seminoles, and the Hurricanes. That's all they care about.
That's
wild.
kind of crazy to me. I mean, I get it. I do. Florida's got some of the most dominant college sports. The Gators, I don't know if they're a basketball school or a football school. They're just so good at both, right?
Who knows anymore?
It's tough to say.
And then,
All right,
we
so-
got to talk about your Vegas. Your Vegas getting chokehold by fucking Edmonton.
I was just gonna go there.
Edmonton's fast. Florida's fast. Edmonton might be faster.
Yeah. Can we get a repeat, though? Can we get a repeat? Edmonton versus Florida.
Listen, I don't think that the Golden Knights are coming back in this series. I don't. I'll just be honest. They've just looked completely lackluster. In the games that they've lost like they've just gotten handled. I do feel like Dallas is good enough to beat, the Oilers, but the Oilers to take a page from my guy Mario's book. They're like on steroids out there. Like the way that these guys play hockey is so intense.
They're so good too.
Dude,
well, you look at Edmonton, 250 points for Draisaitl and McDavid alone.
That's
in their playoff experience.
Honestly, that's crazy. I was looking at Draisaitl tonight. I almost placed a bet on him, and I was like, you know what? I'm leaving the Oilers alone. I don't mess with these guys.
That game's tonight, right? Game 5 tonight. 3-1 in that series.
Game starting in 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yep. And that that's a tough one. I mean, it's here at the Fortress, right? So we've got home ice advantage. It's tough to say because Golden Knights do have a way of kind of like bouncing back a little bit. I don't think they'll win the series, but they might be able to pull it out tonight. I don't know though. The Oilers have just been nasty hockey. No other way to say it.
Tough team to beat.
Like right now, I got the Oilers. I got Skinner, Ottinger, going toe to toe in goal for the West Coast final, and then I got the Canes and the Florida Panthers on the East Coast. What do you think, Austin? Same thing?
Yeah, I don't think Vegas can make the comeback, and I think the Panthers have demoralized the Maple Leafs. So, yeah, and the Caps I don't think can come back down 3-1 either. So, I think it might be a repeat. I think it's going to be Florida and the Oilers again in the Cup.
It's definitely possible. What do you think, Hot Take?
No, I definitely agree with Austin there. No other opinion on that. Definitely agree with Austin. But not to go off topic here, Ben. I like your shirt. You like watching cars go left, huh?
Okay, so here's the interesting thing, right? And I know
I had to ask that question because I just noticed that you were wearing a NASCAR shirt. So
everyone in Florida likes NASCAR, right? Do you like NASCAR?
No, not
it's
even.
terrible.
He does. He's a sleeper NASCAR. He's a sleeper NASCAR fan.
Stop.
So listen, I've been to NASCAR before. I've been to a few NASCAR races in my time. I think that I like the environment. Like I can't watch a NASCAR event on television, but like live, like going to Talladega, right? Going to the Vegas Speedway, outrageous. It's incredible. But I'm more of an F1 fan.
Yeah, I've been to Daytona 500 twice, and being there and watching on TV is a different experience.
Night and day.
So you are a race fan?
No, bro. I was 12 and 15, so take it easy.
Listen, man, if you go to golf events, how could you not like a car race? Like,
but when I get free
tickets, don't hate golf like that, bro. Come on.
Listen, if you got free tickets to go somewhere, you're not gonna go.
I like golf. I sit here I watch golf on the weekends. I'm that old man.
Okay.
Free tickets and it's free drinks. I'm going. I'm there.
Let me ask you guys a question because you can and Austin will be able to explain this in detail for me here.
Here's the hat.
I almost wore one of my golf hats. I love my golf hats. I just don't love the sport. And I'm actually really good on the green. My putting game is nasty, but my drive stinks.
Well, you're about,
If my drive was good, I'd probably like it better. Let's be honest.
I'm saying you're at that age to where you're going to start playing golf here soon anyway. So,
Dude, my boys, that's
I
all
don't
they
think
do.
there's an age to play golf. You can play whatever you want
I
Bro,
know, man, I'm just messing with him because
all
because
my
he's grandpa.
friends, that's what they do. You know, it's the weekend. Let's go play golf. I'm like, boxing, thank you. But Austin, so there's the PGA Tour, and then there's this other thing now, Live, right?
Yeah.
So what is that like the pro like so PGA is like one of those, and this is like a different governing body altogether?
Yeah, they're trying to make it one and the same now because the PGA kind of realized that Liv was taking some of their like money and stuff. But basically, a bunch of dudes like Phil Mickelson was one of the heads that used to be like all PGA. Do you know who that is? Phil Mickelson.
Of course.
Him and like a couple other guys like DeChambeau and a couple other big names went to this Live Golf. They don't play as many tournaments. The prize pool is way bigger. It's scramble play. They all have like it's cut up into teams of 4, but they also do like their own like one-on-one scoreboard. So they get team prizes plus like individual. It's kind of a cool format, but I don't know. They still haven't. They're like struggling. They have like I think they're on. I can't think of the channel. I think it's like the channel the Cubs play on, like WBN or something like that. But yeah, they don't like heavily. Like you can't watch it a ton, but it's not bad. It's not an every weekend thing. Like they aren't playing every weekend. I think it's like once a month they have a tournament.
I almost, because of like the legacy for a guy like Mickelson in the PGA, I'm almost shocked that he would do that. You know, like
what? Go play
when he talks.
Yeah,
go play.
I did it for money probably.
Bro, the Saudis are offering like.
They offered Tiger turned it down, but they offered Tiger like 150 mil.
That's what I'm saying. They're losing a lot of people from the PGA to that Saudi league because Saudis are paying them millions of dollars to go play there.
Dude,
it's
so,
just like soccer. Look at soccer. Look at what Cristiano Ronaldo did. He went and played for the Saudis for $500 million.
You know, he's never won a championship in that league either.
Yeah. So, but he still got paid. But guess
Crazy.
what? $500 million did though.
Have you been down to watch Messi down there in Florida?
For what? To go pay an overrated price to see Messi? For what?
I watched him when he came to Cincinnati. It was pretty good. Pretty fun time. He's a generational player.
Okay, but bro, look what they play though. They play in Miami in the Dolphin Stadium, and you're talking about one of the best players to ever play. The cheapest ticket you're gonna find for a good seat is gonna be $500-$600. I'm not driving.
Yeah, it was expensive when he came to Cincinnati. I watched him play when they played the FC Cincinnati.
So, you know, you brought this up, Hot Take, and obviously you guys know I'm a boxing fan. The Saudi money, like I noticed it first, obviously in boxing, but this is kind of like a sport-wide thing now, right? They're hosting tennis tournaments over there. They're starting a boxing league that Dana White is going to be the head of. Now you're talking about these golf tournaments. So the Saudis are just really throwing their hat into the ring in every sport. You know, they've built their version of Disney World and Las Vegas combined in one place. You know, they've made themselves like they're very quickly becoming the entertainment capital of the world.
Do you think they ever tap into the big 3 or the big 4, hockey and baseball, basketball, and football?
I mean, I have to believe that Roger Goodell, you know, has spoke with these Saudi people already about an international game there. You know, I would, the NFL is all about its money. I'd be shocked if we didn't see like a game happen there in the next couple of years. But
baseball played in Japan this year.
Yeah, and
hockey would be a hard sell because you get the KHL. KHL's got money like them too, right? So I can't see them taking away from the KHL.
Yeah, I don't think hockey makes it there, but I could see I could see baseball making it there before any other sport.
Yeah, I could see that too. And you know what? Because it is almost 7:00, and I know we got to jump to the other thing here in a few. Let's kind of close this out with the MLB top 5 rankings. Everyone's are probably fairly similar, maybe one or two teams different. Cove, you got the baseball hat on. So let's start with you, my friend. Who are your top 5 power ranked right now in the MLB?
Well, I got the Dodgers over the Mets just slightly. So you got Dodgers, Mets, Tigers, Padres, and 5. I was gonna say Yankees, but just because you call me a New York hater, I'm gonna put the Cubbies there.
Cubs are definitely not above. I don't think okay. Let me just throw this out there. All right. The Cubs, like if you would have said the San Francisco Giants, I would have swallowed that pill because it was legit. I don't believe the Cubs are a top 5 team in baseball right now. I'm just going to say
Cubs are good.
They're good. They're good. I think they're a top 10 team, maybe 6, 7, 8, but I don't think they're the top 5.
That's fair.
You got the Yanks hat on, the old school Yanks gear on there. So give us your top 5, Austin.
I think it's sadly we get to play them on Friday in the Subway Series, but I think it's Mets, Dodgers, Padres, Tigers, Yankees.
Okay.
And there's so many
understand.
teams you
I
could
understand
mention.
why y'all are putting the Mets in the top 5.
They have the best record in baseball,
Oh, and that proves what?
but they're the best team.
So
Hold on.
What the
Hold
fuck?
on.
What do you mean?
Just because-
What do you mean, bro?
hold on.
He's
Just
the
because-
biggest hater, period.
No, because I'm just trying to figure something out. Just because a team has a good record, how does that make them a top 5 team? Look,
Do you watch the games?
They have the Mets have the best ERA in Major League Baseball.
See, now we're getting somewhere. Just because they have the best record, that doesn't mean anything. But the ERA is still an inflated stat because of who have they played. That's the question. Who have they played?
Who is? I mean, the only teams that really had a tough schedule are the Braves and the Cubs.
Yeah.
Yo, the Braves are a 500 team again now. The Braves have roared back this season, and they were my original pick for the NL to go to the World Series.
We'll see how the Mets play against the Yankees this weekend. They start.
And if they
Yeah.
if they lose all 3 games, then what?
Then they're not
When's the last time a team swept the Subway Series?
Mhm.
I'm just asking, bro. Honestly, as a Yankee fan, I'm starting to be worried about you, though, Austin. Like, you're starting to scare me a little bit.
You're delusional. That's what it is. You only like
I'm just being honest.
just because they're from New York, we can still acknowledge that they're a good team.
No, you cannot.
Yes,
No,
you
you
can.
cannot.
Ben has them in
No,
his
you
top
can't.
5 too. Why are you coming at me reckless?
Because you should know better. You're a Yankees fan to put a fucking another. New
The
York
Mets
team
are a
in the
good
top
team.
5.
They're the best team in the NL right now.
We'll see.
All right,
We'll
so
see.
that takes us to hot take. Hot take. Who are your top 5 teams in Major League Baseball today?
Doesn't matter. You can put anyone besides the Mets. There you go. There's my answer. Hey. But honestly, though, nah. You got the Dodgers, you got the Tigers, you got the Yankees, you got the Giants. And then, honestly, I really do like the Cubs in the top 5, though. I'm not going to lie to you. It's between the Cubs and, obviously, the Mets are a good team, but they still haven't proved anything to me to be considered a top 5 team.
Okay, listen, I guess I understand a little bit. We'll see. Okay, so let's say they take 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. What are your thoughts if they do that?
I mean, they should beat the Yankees, though. They have the better team, but they're not going to. They will always be little brother to the Yankees. It's just that simple.
It's just that simple, he says. Okay. All right. So now you say that all right. So we're saying the Cubs, right? Now the Cubs lost to the Marlins today. The Cubs recently have been very
Been
hit or
bad.
miss. Let's look at this month. They started out the month with 3 strong games, then they dropped like 3 or 4 in a row. You know, they've been kind of up and down this month. I think they're decent. My top 5, I think it's either the Mets or the Dodgers at 1, the other at 2.
There we go. Another
Number
year
3.
putting the Mets in the top 5, man.
I'm
I
just
actually
a
watched the
realist.
games.
I'm just a realist. I watch the games and they're a good team. They are. There's no other way to say that. I think the Padres have been outstanding this season. I enjoy watching Padres baseball games. They're one of the only teams I can say that about. Like, I don't put on Mets games and I'm like, nice, Mets game is on. But like, I enjoy watching the Padres play baseball. They're a really exciting team to watch. I would love to see Tatis beat out Ohtani for the MVP this season. It would make my day. The Yankees fell out of a lot of people's top 5s recently. I feel like they've been doing enough. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say something kind of crazy, but kind of realistic as well. When Aaron Judge finishes, I believe he may be the greatest right-handed hitter of all time. Just
It's
throwing
possible.
it out. You know?
He's on fire right now. What is he hitting, like
Oh,
414,
wild.
412?
Yep. And he
That's
became the
wild.
home run leader again today, knocking out
40 RBIs.
Yeah, he's playing ridiculous. Like the one
OPS
thing
is
that
almost
Aaron Judge needs
1,300.
is a World Series. He needs to lead this team to a World Series title. Which
Vin, you know how wild that statement is you said? You know how wild that statement is?
yes.
That's okay. I respect
Yeah,
it.
okay.
That's just a wild statement.
Let's say he continues this pace, that he's had for the last, 5 seasons. Where do you think he's going to rank amongst the greatest hitters of all time?
It just depends on
If he continues his pace, he's going to have 600-700 home runs.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying though, if he continues this pace,
I have no reason to think he's not, right? It's not like he's been doing it for a season. He just keeps going. Right?
He's not going to hit 400, but he's going to hit 330, 340.
But some of these greatest right-hand hitters, let's be real here. Like, you want to talk realistically? Let's talk realistically. Have done it in the postseason. We have yet.
It's Pete Rose, bro.
Pete Rose is the greatest hitter of all time.
I'm not talking about just Pete Rose. I'm talking about right-hand hitters that you consider a top 5 right-handed hitter in all of MLB have done it in the regular season and in the postseason. We have yet to see really Aaron Judge come through in the postseason. So to say that he's going to be one of the greatest right-handed hitters, you better off rephrasing that and saying in the regular season, because we have yet to see that in the postseason. That's all I'm trying to say.
He's the captain. He's the only captain we've had since Derek Jeter. He's one of the few captains the Yankees have ever had. It is absolutely mandatory, like my mindset, like he has to, for me to put him there, he has to win a World Series, period. Not, anything less. Like I won't, I could, that's the reason I don't have a Judge jersey, because he breaks my heart in the playoffs. Can't do it. But, if he can get over that hump, it's kind of hard to argue the body of work that he's put together in recent years. That's all I'm saying.
Can we agree on one thing? Since Ohtani's not pitching right now, can we agree that Judge is better baseball player than him?
Oh, Judge is the best baseball player in MLB right now. No questions asked. No ifs, ands, or buts. Argue with a fucking wall.
Listen, I feel the same way. I mean, like, the way he started out this season has been amazing. It's just like, and you brought up a great point. We got 2 other Yankees fans here. Watching him be the MVP last year, right? Then go into the playoffs and hit a nice slump again, and then come right back out this regular season and be the best player in baseball. It's one of the most frustrating things as a Yankees fan that I've experienced.
I'll tell you this, though. If he wins the Triple Crown, I'll consider him a top 5 Yankee.
He's probably going to win the Triple Crown.
he's on pace, man.
Watch him
He
up.
is
I
on
mean,
pace.
that kid from the Ace, that shortstop they got, Jacob Wilson, he's hitting like 375 or something like that. He might get him on average because he's a really good hitter. But he's
Well,
got a shot.
the problem with Judge is compared to a lot of these other players, Judge is either off the wall or over the wall type of hitter. You know what I mean? Like he's not your normal contact hitter. You know what I'm saying? So the average is going to be the hardest part. The RBIs and the home run, he's definitely got 100% if he continues this pace. It's going to be the batting average because, like I said, it's either over the wall, on the wall, or a strikeout for Judge. He barely hits, those little contact hitters. You know what I mean?
I mean, if he hits 50, 60 home runs again this year, I mean, you got to start. We haven't seen somebody do this consistently since like McGuire and Sosa, and they were on
That's a
roids.
fact. I see Cove sitting there like deciding whether or not he needs to. Oh, sorry, I just keep putting up that hater thing. My bad.
I know.
But Cove, how do you feel about Judge?
Oh, I love Judge, but I'll give you an old school name. You're gonna say he's one of the greatest right-hand hitters, but what about DiMaggio? What about Mays? What about some of the greats that have ever
Mays
played
is
this
who I
game?
thought of instantly when you said that.
Yeah, you got Willie Mays, you got Hank Aaron, you have Joe DiMaggio. You had so many legends that have done it more than what Judge has done. So to put Judge up there,
Ted Williams was lefty, wasn't he?
Ted was the lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave was a lefty.
Ted Williams was a monster.
Yeah.
Listen, sometimes I got to have a hot take too. My first hot take of the season was that he's going to have over 500 on base percentage. I'm all in on Judge this year. I'm all in on it. This is the season I need him to get us to and through a World Series.
Hey, the way Max Fried is pitching right now, he might not lose a start, or the Yankees won't lose a game when he's pitching. It's either no decision for him or the Yankees win.
Dude, honestly, could you imagine? Look how good the Yankees are, and we're not even the best team in baseball. Imagine if Cole and Fried were both playing right now.
Imagine if Garrett Cole was our fifth or our other starter instead of Will Warren.
Dude, unbelievable. We have 30-plus wins already.
We'd have 30-plus wins easy.
And the only other thing I'll add to you there, Vinny, is the because the new thing about putting Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame after death and blah blah blah, which means the steroid era might end up in the Hall of Fame. You're gonna put Judge over Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds is
If Bonds
lefty.
gets Bonds is lefty.
But let's see how he finishes.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so you brought something up, and this will be the last thing for us for the evening, right? And now I'm curious to know what everybody thinks about this, right? So Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson are now eligible to be voted into the Hall of Fame. I think they should both be voted in immediately. I'm actually I think baseball did a disservice to itself doing this posthumous for Pete Rose. Hot take. What do you think?
I mean, okay, but if you put them in, then you have to consider putting the other ones in that they pretty much banned from the Hall of Fame as well, too.
The Juicers?
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Here's my opinion, and a lot of people will argue this, but it's pretty much undeniable. Those guys that were the steroid era, the McGuires, Canseco, Sosa, that time in baseball was a really bad time in baseball if you remove them. They saved baseball at that time.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, right? Yeah, they juiced. It added strength to them, but they still had to work out. They still had to swing the bat. They still had to put the work in to add that extra strength to them. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, let me put a needle in my body and I'm just going to become fucking Superman.
I mean,
to this day, the biggest thing I believe they should be able to juice currently in the league. Why not?
Well, how many times have we seen?
I'm all for it.
How many times?
It
have we
only
seen
adds
someone
about
get in
15 to 20
trouble?
foot on the fucking home run. It really doesn't
Yeah,
add. Like, you're
it
not going to hit
doesn't add.
500s.
Yeah, you're not hitting fucking 1,000 feet home runs. Like, it's not. You know what I mean? Like,
The fans would love
Give
it.
you a
I
better
mean, if
eye.
somebody, Judge
you'll
would
see.
hit
You'll
70
see
or 80
more.
homers.
That's what I'm saying. You'll see more. You'll see more entertainment because you'll see more home runs. Okay, you won't see fucking soccer scores 3-2, 2-1. Like, you're not gonna see that. You know what I mean? It'll add more entertainment to the game itself. And honestly, you'll see people that haven't hit home runs ever start hitting at least 5 to 10 home runs a season.
Dude, I'm all for it. I love that Austin threw that out there. I'm all for it. It's a little different in a sport like football where you're launching yourself through somebody like a missile. Maybe we don't
exactly.
need it.
It's a contact sport, right? So it's a big difference.
Exactly. But in baseball, I think it would only improve the sport. That's just my opinion.
Imagine some of the big bodies in the league that hit homers on roids. Like, imagine a healthy Giancarlo Stanton on roids when he was on the Marlins.
Dude, Giancarlo Stanton may not have taken on some of the injuries he's taken on, or he would have been able to rehab them better and faster. Like,
fact.
That's, and he would have done it safely.
Let's be real here. The NBA allows the players to smoke weed. Not that I have anything against it, but they allow them to smoke weed.
As they should.
Mm.
So
I'm wrong with that at all.
I'm not saying there
is.
Like,
listen.
So why not?
Here you go, Vinny. Home run derby, Coors Field, all juice.
Dude, it would be
legendary.
It would be the best All-Star week ever.
Guest Josh Hamilton.
There's almost like, I get it, and there are probably some older people that are watching the show like right now. Like, these guys are out of their fucking minds. But you know what? Like, let's just call it what it is. It would make the game more exciting. It would make it awesome. And like, at the end of the day, right? It's not a contact sport. If these guys want to do that, the only person it really would harm is them.
All right, here I got one better for you. Let them juice and bring back Spider Tech.
Dude.
Garrett Cole and Spider Tag is the best pitcher ever.
Bro.
The honest truth. That's how you balance it. You bring back Spider Tag and you let them juice. That's simple.
Garrett Cole would not be able to be hit on Spider Tag, bro.
So the MLB had a whole deal. Like, they were advertising Spider Tag and all that, and they literally cut it in the middle of the season and banned it. Like, the way that happened kind of threw me off. And that would be awesome. I would be all for that. Listen, man, I'm all for the action in sports. Whatever makes that more action, I'm all with, It's the only way I can say it. All right, so real quick, guys, it's that time of night. Cove, you want to plug your show for this week, and then we'll jump in for you guys?
Yeah, we'll be back on Thursday night. With a bunch of guys. If Vinny will actually show up for once.
Thursday night's so hard for me, but I can potentially do Friday or Saturday. I'll do my best. I suck, I know. It's Between the Strikes, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Between the Strikes.
And my fellows from the Sports Podium, one of you guys want to give us a quick breakdown?
Go ahead, Austin.
You got it, bro. Sports Podium on X, Sports Podium 224. My @'s right below me, and that's all I got. Episodes weekly.
And what we were saying earlier, guys, if you didn't see the post from these guys, they're looking for other sports content creators. They're looking for the average guy who wants to talk sports with them. If you're interested, give my guy Hot Take City 904. Is that what it is on X? Or, as you can see, Austin_Roland0. Hit them up, or at Sports Podium 224. Get with these guys. Let them know what you're thinking. And as they said, create something great together. All right. And as you know, as always, Vinny's Corner will be back here next Wednesday evening. And I've got some new stuff coming up. I'm not going to get into it right now because I'm still trying to get it done. That's all we got for tonight, fellas. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you next week here in Vinny's Corner.
Peace.